It's Tuesday, September 17th, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. We're back from everything. We're not going anywhere in a while. And we're feeling salty.
Let's do this.
So is it Darude or Darude? To paraphrase what Scott just asked me.
I'm looking it up.
And I realized in my entire life I've been saying it alternatingly.
I think it's Darude.
You know what? I'm going to say Darude because I still say Machina Supremacy off and on, even though that is also incorrect. Or at least is incorrect. I
How
don't know
to
if it's
pronounce Darude in Finnish?
in Finnish. That helps.
Hold on.
Is it really? Should we pronounce it in Finnish or in American? Darude.
It is Darude.
Darude.
It is Darude. Is he a Finnish guy? Yeah, he's a Finnish guy.
All right, yeah, we'll say it like that from now on. But yeah, that's that song. So because Emily didn't go to PAX, I got back from PAX and she was like, I kind of want to go to a con because I missed a con.
If you want to go to a con, pretty much any weekend, there's a con to go to somewhere. It might be a tiny shitty con. There's a con.
So for many years, all of our cool friends would go to SPX, and there's always some other shit going on, and we just never went to it.
SPX because they basically assumed it was Mocha 2.0 just in DC, and I was like, why go to DC for the same con I've already been to this year?
Yep. So we decided to go. I'm not going to review the con. We would save that for another time, but we went to SPX, just me and Emily. We brought along Lolled Well, which made for some lulls in the car on the way down.
You can't have a non-lull time with
I know.
someone with lulls.
It was also weird because I realized, people kept, like other college humor people and just all these people kept coming up to us at the party we ran, and they were like, oh yeah, so how do you two know each other? And we looked at each other, and we never really had a good answer for that.
No, we don't.
Like,
The
both know
internet
Conrad.
magic.
We follow each other on Twitter.
Internet magic.
That's pretty much it. And then at the party, I didn't even know. There were people who showed up. But anyway, I digress. So SPX was pretty cool, and we hung out and did the thing, and I can see why the tweets that come out of it every year are the way they are. I learned about its innermost traditions, like, imagine if PAX had a chocolate fountain.
It does.
No, like an official chocolate fountain that happened at 11 o'clock on Saturday in the con.
It does.
Where?
Eland.
Yeah, that's not, that's special. Also, there is no chocolate fountain there.
Oh, is there?
Also, I do not trust chocolate fountains.
No.
Because I've decided that the SPX chocolate fountain is in fact the same chocolate every year.
Whoa.
But, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff I can say about SPX, but my opening bit, the reason I bring this up now instead of on a Wednesday show or a Thursday show, is that we drove there, and that was fine. We got to this place, and it has been a long time since I've been to a convention that was not in a city. It was in a convention center in Bethesda by itself. You had to drive to it. And we were like, hey, let's walk outside, look at our phone, and see what food we can get.
Nothing.
There were two pizza places, neither of which was open because it was a weekend. And they were both half a mile away.
Might as well be Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford is a cornucopia of dinner compared to Bethesda.
And I like cornucopias.
I know you do. So we see this Chinese place, and Emily's like, let's just go. And I'm like, I'm super dubious. I'm the most dubious that a Rim has ever been. And she's like, oh, come on. You're always down on,
And we're always right, Emily.
So she's like, yeah, we should eat at this place. And I'm like, not super feeling it. And then we go in.
Meanwhile, every time we're not feeling something, it turns out that we're right. I see where she's coming from every time this kind of thing happens.
So we walk in.
But let's talk about the story of eating the weird vegetables at the diner, or the story about getting the salad at the Fuddruckers.
No, it wasn't a salad. It was like a chicken sandwich.
Whatever. We're always, sadly, correct on these issues.
Well, I think in general in my life, the times I've been burned by being optimistic were way worse than the times I was burned by being pessimistic. But we walk in, and then I see her go, take a little sniff, and then she's like, and I was like, let's walk back out the door. And then we walked back out the door, went back to the hotel.
What smelled in that restaurant?
It smelled just like shitty Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
Shit tier Chinese. Remember when we couldn't get the good Chinese food playing D&D at RIT because it was too late? So we'd get the worst Chinese food, the one that would deliver, and it'd always be vaguely room temperature instead of hot. So, yeah, we went back to the hotel and ate there. There is if you live in that area, and there was tons of huge apartment buildings right there, there is fucking nothing. Nothing. So the other reason I bring all this up is that I go to check in, and they gave me the presidential suite.
Okay.
I don't know why. The room was a palace. My entire apartment could fit in it a couple times over. So we did what any good person would do, and we threw the cool kids party. And a lot of people who were cool showed up, and I want to give a shout out to everyone who's cool who showed up at our party. You all know who you were, and thank you for helping me rearrange some of that artwork. I wonder if the hotel will notice.
So, here's a funny news. Recently, people were complaining, or I don't know if they were complaining, but they were discussing, like, hey, how come no one's brought back Heroquest? And my post was, if you've listened to the show, you know, Heroquest is the He-Man of board games.
Yeah, I think we did a show on replaying Heroquest. I'm going to try to find that show and see if we in fact did, because
if you go back to that game, it sucks balls. It is a piece of shit. Even if you want to play that genre of game of, basically net hack with a board, just play Descent. And I don't even like Descent, but there's a whole bunch of these games that are basically just dungeon crawl games. Hell, play fucking Dungeons and Dragons.
HeroQuest is not the worst of that genre. I will say that. It had some cool things going for it, and really the problem was just that if you follow the game by the book, the game becomes trivial because the players kick in every door and kill everything in the room in one hit. It's like when you're leveled up too far in Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm. So here's the details, right? A Spanish company named Game Zone is going to create this anniversary edition. They have distribution rights to Spain, but nowhere else. So I guess in Spain, they really love HeroQuest. And
didn't they say they're going to release it in a bunch of other languages as well? Because fuck you.
They will do so, which means you can buy it even if you're not in Spain. You just got to get it shipped over, There may be some sort of Kickstarter crowdfunding, but they don't know. There's going to be 4 heroes, male and female. They're still going to have the 3D plastic furniture. It's going to have a reversible board, so 2 different maps. And there won't be Fimirs, but there will be equivalent reptilian creatures. I guess there's some licensing issue or something.
How can there be a licensing issue on Femur? I'm going to look that shit up.
I don't know. And it won't be expensive. It'll be about the same price as Descent version 2, in which case, just buy fucking Descent version 2. I don't like Descent.
All right, there's a whole Wikipedia article.
Way better.
Femur are a
than
fantasy
HeroQuest.
race created by Graham Davis and Jess Goodwin at the end of the 1980s Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
This is why.
Oh, they were Walt. Okay, in the Wikipedia article, they wanted a race to be as distinctive of Warhammer as the Brew are of RuneQuest. However, the Femur did not prove popular. They made a guest appearance in Milton Bradley's HeroQuest. Very few official sources remain published on Femurs.
I thought it's a Fimir.
I always said femur as a kid.
Femur would start with F-E, like the bone, a femur.
Yeah, because I is always pronounced I and E and not E.
It could be a Fimir.
Could be a femur.
Is there a pronunciation there?
No, there is not.
I'm sticking with femur.
I'm going to say femur.
Femur is a bone.
Femur
is F-E-M-U-R.
Femur society is divided into a case system consisting of the Merg, the Dirac, the Warriors, and the Shiel.
All right, listen.
The Merg is also known as the Witch Hag.
If the word femur, F-E-M-U-R, for the bone, the large leg bone, did not already exist, I would pronounce that as femur.
Okay, I will grant you that.
Because that word already exists, that a different spelling must have a different pronunciation.
Okay, there's a lot of information on Femur Society here.
Yeah, how much, if you pick any Warhammer race, how much fucking information do you think there's going to be?
Well, I guess it's a dead race now.
What are those, like, zombie robot guys?
No, I'm convinced to this day, when I was a kid, I used to play HeroQuest. Me, my little brother, and my dad was the game master.
And you were too dumb to realize the things we know today?
No.
Rolling the dice doesn't matter?
My dad cheated by accident in that, one, we thought femurs could cast fucking spells just because we were dumb.
Okay, how'd you figure that out?
I don't know, we just did.
All right.
Femurs cast spells. Everything femur and up could cast spells.
Sure.
And they could cast any goddamn spell.
Sure.
So that actually made the game slightly challenging.
Sure, okay.
But I'm convinced to this day that my little brother went and got the book, looked up where that fucking what Borin's armor was, because when we got to that map, we're doing our normal thing, and my brother just makes a beeline as the elf toward this part of the map that I'm like, don't go over there yet, it's dangerous, finish up over here, and just searches this one fucking room and finds this chest with this magic goddamn armor in it. Even though I was the barbarian, I needed it way more than he did. Good times. But no, that game is great if you're 8 years old or you're a patient father.
Just like He-Man is great.
Yes, it is the worst game.
It is not good.
It's funny because there's another property that's getting a similar sort of...
Everything's getting remake. No one has an original bone in their... No one has an original femur in their body.
It's similar in that it's a foreign country pulling up a license with blessing from the original creator. Some Canadians are remaking River City Ransom with official licensing.
River City Ransom was remade. There was River City Ransom on the GBA DS. There was even the Super Dodgeball, which we had.
You know what I want? I just want to play all the other games in that series, but I digress.
Exactly.
River City Ransom Underground is a modern remake of River City Ransom. The video for the Kickstarter is kind of annoying because the guy's not that funny.
Yeah, he's definitely trying hard to be funny and failing.
But then they showed gameplay and it's like, wow, that is in fact the gameplay I want. Because while the Scott Pilgrim game is fun, it doesn't quite feel like River City Ransom.
No, it feels like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Also, the characters look a lot older, so we'll see. Alex and Ryan looks like he's got stubble now.
Ryan looks... Oh, those are the old pictures.
Yes.
I was like, Ryan looks like Ryan. What are you talking about? How about Alex? How's Alex doing?
He also has stubble.
Okay.
They both have stubble.
So I guess it's more, I don't know. Is someone ransomed?
I don't know. I didn't watch the whole video, but I kickstarted it.
Anyway,
because
we should
whatever.
make River City Ransom where the girls save the dudes. It's all girl fights.
Oh, that would be a good game.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it didn't devolve into... It would have to be the exact same kind
Another
of game.
idea? We should...
It can't be like the Princess Peach game where she uses the power of emotion to save the day.
Another idea, we should make a fighting game. All the characters are characters from beat-em-up games. So it's everyone from Final Fight, everyone from Streets of Rage, everyone from River City Ransom, Ninja Turtle, right? Or we should... A lot of these characters might be missing from... I know Hagar's on there, but there are some characters missing from Saltybet.
You know what? You know what we need to make in Saltybet? You know what the number one thing we need to make in Saltybet now is? The femur.
Sure. Do it.
So, the auction houses in Diablo,
they
pay
suck.
to win. We didn't talk about them a lot because they're the kind of thing that just anger me and sadden me to the point that they're shit. If you like it, if you used it, you're a terrible person. We talked at length about why they were a bad idea, right alongside that always on DRM. And yeah, they're gone.
That's what?
They are gone as of March 18th, 2014.
Oh, so next year.
Yes, they are.
That's crazy, right? That this is a real story, not a joke.
Yeah,
what game ever has had microtransaction bullshit and then removed it? None ever. This is the first one I've ever heard about removing microtransaction nonsense. And Blizzard, no less, which is coming out with Hearthstone, the most microtransaction bullshit pay to win I've ever played in my life.
Yeah,
and they're removing that bullshit from Diablo 3. Holy crap.
Now, it's interesting because they gave a statement talking about why, and they basically said that it wasn't, like, it didn't fit with what they wanted the game to be.
You notice? This comes after they bought themselves back from Vivendi.
All right, Vivendi. It's easy to forget. It's easy to forget. There was a time when Penny Arcade and the like would often point to Vivendi as being the source of all evil.
Vivendi owned Activision, which owned Blizzard. And Blizzard has sort of been this company where in some ways it's a good guy like Valve, in some ways not a good guy. But now, ever since, and Activision was more bad guy, only a little bit good guy. You know, Activision, Pitfall good, modern stuff not as good. But...
Yep.
Activision,
also, most of their old games also not that good.
Buying itself away from Vivendi. So now it's just Activision Blizzard. Suddenly a good guy thing happens. It's like,
well, keep an eye out because Dell...
Hope increasing.
Notice how Michael Dell is just buying Dell back. He's like, fuck you guys, I'm going private and I'm going to fix Dell.
I wonder if he can do that.
Might be able to. So, to quote them...
If I was him, I would just concentrate on selling, like, you know, the servers, like the 1Us and the 2Us, because nobody's making those anymore but him.
The official statement from them on the Diablo update is, and I quote, "When we initially designed and implemented the auction houses, the drive-in goal was to provide a convenient and secure system for trades."
That's horseshit. They could have made secure trades without fucking real money.
Yep. But as we've mentioned on different occasions, it became increasingly clear that despite the benefits of the auction house system and the fact that many players around the world use it, it ultimately undermines Diablo's core gameplay, kill monsters and get cool loot.
Of course, it undermines that.
Yeah, but it didn't really undermine it. It undermined the grind part of it.
That's
You
what
could pay
Diablo's
to
core.
skip
That's what
grind.
that is. That's what kill monsters, get loot equals grinding. Diablo's core gameplay is grinding.
But who likes grinding? Well, we know who likes grinding.
People
So,
who play Diablo
we
more than
feel-
once. See, when I play Diablo, I play it and I just go from the beginning to the end, and I just, I just try to
go.
get to the end.
1-1-1-1, 2-2-1, 1-1-1.
Yes,
1-1-1-2.
get to the end, beat Diablo. Good, I'm done, right? If you're the kind of person who plays Diablo where you go into hell and you sit there killing hellions and things in hell for a long time hoping they drop mad loots, yeah. Okay.
I did that once in one game in recent history.
Which is?
The first Castlevania on the DS,
Okay.
because I had the second best I had basically the third best axe in the game. The first best axe you can only get if you take the second best axe and kill, I think Death drops it, and then you can have like this crazy fucking axe. So the only way to get the the second best axe in the game, it dropped from this one monster. So I was walking around and I found a screen that had that monster on it, and I thought for a second, and I was like, I have to do it. And I just walked back and forth for like a half hour until he finally dropped it.
I was playing Super Metroid, which I streamed. By the way, I have this Elgato streaming device.
Geeknights streaming shit is coming to you guys in
So
the
I'm
near
just
future.
streaming like random games I'm playing, whatever.
Thing is, I want to stream. I want to do the same thing, but it'd be a pain in the ass to borrow Scott's. I feel like I might just have to buy my own.
Anyway, so I was just playing Super Metroid, and it's like I'd find a secret, and sometimes I'd be like, "Fuck that secret, I don't need that. It's probably just missiles." And sometimes I'd be like, "I'm getting that secret. Look how secret that is. That's something good. That's like super missiles.
Yeah.
So at least super missiles." So I would go for it, and some of them would be hard to get. And basically, I was trying to get. It's like I could just. Sometimes I was like, I'll just go get the space jump and come back. It'll be way easy. But sometimes I was like, I want it now. I'm using the wall jump.
But I want it now.
And I basically got these crazy hard to get secrets that would have been a piece of cake if I had the space jump screw attack. But because I only had wall jump, I basically was like sitting there for like at least 15 minutes failing at wall jumping with the shitty Wii Classic controller.
What's funny is that actually, of all games, it was the Zelda Minish Cap game that sort of killed my desire to get secrets in most games, because that game had all these cool secrets to get, but what you actually got was nothing.
So yeah, in Super Metroid, you get something.
Yeah, Super Metroid, you get something.
There's that one secret where you have to run really fast and do the duck, the crouch, dash, super jump thing into this very narrow spot to go up into a missile, and it's like, hell no.
I can do with 5 fewer missiles.
Yeah, I'm not going for 100%. I'm going for defeat the mother brain.
But, we have a lot to say about this, but Slashshot, of all places, the top comment, the first comment, as far as I can tell, quote, "I always thought Auction House is what made Diablo 3 relevant and rewarding, since the gameplay focuses on being grindy. Now that you can no longer exchange gear for actual money, what's the point? The game itself isn't fun enough to play." And then people basically say everything that we were going to say, but we'll say it anyway. So, one, are they going to get rid of the DRM?
That's a good point. The only reason they had this sort of always online, which is the bigger complaint than the auction house by most people, but not us. Not that we didn't complain about that, but it was sort of the second worst thing about Diablo 3, was because of the money auction house. If you don't have the money auction house, why do you need the always online bullshit?
Well, we know
you have the
why.
console version, which isn't always online.
Because their ulterior motive was they didn't want people cheating, because if some asshole out there cheats at his effectively single-player game and gets loot that he doesn't, quote, deserve, that ruins my gameplay experience somehow.
Sure.
Also, locking
Too many people
in,
watch Cowboy Bebop. It's not a good show anymore.
Yeah, as that guy at Anime Boston so eloquently tried to describe to his friend and didn't realize my camera was just next to him recording.
Yep.
But there's a statement here Also on Slashdot, that is choice. This is my second favorite comment of the year. And this guy does not
What's
appear
your
to be
first
joking.
favorite comment of the year?
I'll have to go look it up again. It was, I'll find it. It was something great.
Okay.
I tweeted. I just have to go find it again because I have to say it exactly or it loses its impact. The lack of an auction house is what made D2 and Borderlands such a success. Precisely that you had to grind endlessly to perhaps get good stuff gave people a sense of achievement. When all anyone needed to do was flip out the credit card, that disappeared. +5 insightful. What the fuck, dude? Really?
Yes, you achieve something by wasting your goddamn time. Well,
So-
I mean, it is true, right? He is completely correct. People do get this sense of achievement, right? It's these games reward people for spending time, right? Look at like Netrunner or Counter-Strike, the games that we like. These games, it doesn't matter how much time you spend, they punish you if you're not any good. And if you continue to not be good, there's people who've been playing Netrunner as long as me. There's a guy I know, nice guy, great guy. He was at the first tournament I was at, so he's been playing as long as me. And when he shows up to tournaments, he still places even worse than me. Like, I'm usually middle of the pack, even though I just came in second for the first time. Go me. I could have won, but I didn't. But he's always like dead last. He's just not good. And he's just punished for sucking over and over again. He doesn't get any sense of achievement. Why? Because he hasn't achieved anything. A game like Borderlands or an RPG or Diablo or whatever, these games, you don't have to be good. You just have to spend time. The more time you spend, and they will reward you. You automatically will succeed and get rewards and make it feel like you've achieved something simply because you spent time. Farmville. Doesn't matter if you've actually achieved anything. And this is why these games, if you want to make money, that's the kind of game you should make. Because people of any skill level will enjoy that shit because they'll feel like they've achieved something when they haven't. If you make a game that only achievers, real achievers, can feel like they've achieved something at, only hardcore people who are good at shit are gonna like that game.
Now, it's a little more subtle
You know how
than
many
that.
people stop playing Netrunner because, like, fuck, I just got my ass handed to me constantly. Fuck this shit. Or, damn, Counter-Strike sucks. I just die instantly all the time. What the fuck?
It's a little more nuanced than that because, one, I'm playing through Fire Emblem just to beat it so I can review it fully, liking it less and less the longer I play it. But it is hard as a human to not feel that sense of achievement when you level your fucking dude up in a thing.
Indeed.
That is it. There is a psychological, there is a powerful desire.
It works on me.
I mean, Fire Emblem, like, I found myself, I was like, well, I haven't really used that character yet. Maybe I should power level her. Oh, no. But, two, games like Counter-Strike and Netrunner, they don't reward time directly, but they reward it as a secondary effect.
Yes,
because
practice, obviously.
they reward practice, which means you're spending
But anything,
time.
if you want skills, even if you're a genius, even if you have fitness in all of these, fundamental skills, if you play a new game, you still need practice. You could take a great athlete, and if they've never played this new sport called suckball, right? They need to practice these specific skills of that sport, which takes time, but the time in and of itself is not enough. The time has to be well spent on practicing specific things.
They might just have natural talent and a knack.
You have to be, that practice has to be successful practice. You actually have to, do the right things the right way. And then when you go to play the actual game, you have to carry those things over. It's not easy to do. It's not guaranteed. The games I'm talking about, like, Borderlands, it's if you spend time, unless you are really, really, really dumb, time spent guarantees success regardless of practicing or skill or anything like that.
Okay, so I found my best internet comment of 2013. It's hard to really get it across because everything's spelled wrong. So and this was in response to some political thing where the South as a unit was brought up. You're spelled wrong, right, sad to say, comma, Yankee Empire in caps is root of all evil, period, caps, secede.
Okay.
That comment is my favorite comment of the entire year. I have not seen anything that gave me as much joy as reading that comment.
Okay. Whatever.
But with this auction house thing, there are a lot of people who do feel slighted or wronged somehow. If
yeah,
someone
if
else,
I was a dumbass and spent money on a thing.
no. No one's complaining about that. The people,
What?
the people who get mad if someone else cheats. I make finger quotes here by not grinding to get an item in a single player game. They feel like because that person didn't put forth their effort, if he just downloaded that EV Train Pokemon, he just hacked it. It is not worth the value of mine, and in fact, he has invalidated my work, and I feel bad about wasting my time now.
Well, I mean, if there was a competition, right, where I had to fight some guy, and it wasn't a level playing field, right, and some other guy has the thing I don't have, regardless of how he got it, I'm fucking pissed.
Yep, but a game
But if
like
I'm not, Diablo isn't directly competing at the Penny Arcade comic. The Penny Arcade has already commented on this. Who's cheating? Who's the cheated party here?
Satan?
Satan? Fuck him. Right? Just link to that Penny Arcade.
But I'm just saying,
that says everything we have to say in so few words and pictures which are a million words.
But that Slashshot comment is that guy. The people who actually believe this are real and get voted +5 insightful on Slashshot.
Of course.
So we'll see what happens. I still haven't even
Those
bothered.
people who think Cowboy Bebop sucks when it gets popular are +5 insightful.
I haven't even bothered playing Diablo 3, but
You know what? When it gets cheap, I like a Torchlight or a Diablo just to play through and kill Satan just once. If it's not $50, I'll why not $10 if I got nothing else to do and all the other games are done.
now they gave this
That said,
reason
it didn't beat Torchlight 2 yet.
publicly. They basically said they want to, they're changing the experience for a reason. They gave a reason, and they have a secondary reason of we feel that this move, along with the Loot 2.0 system being developed with Reaper of Souls, will result in a more rewarding experience for the players.
It's gonna be an expansion.
Yes, Loot 2.0.
So then I think I will get Ye Game of Year edition that includes all expansions and play through once and kill Satan.
But
Fuck you, Satan.
I
Hail
somehow
Satan.
don't think that they removed the auction house system to make a better experience for the players. I think they removed it because it wasn't making the money they hoped it would make.
Maybe.
That is my guess. That is the unstated reason, because it seems odd to me that they would actually remove it for any reason other than it wasn't making money, unless it is we are free of Vivendi, let's actually do good.
It could be.
I give it a 50-50 shot either way. But anyway, things of the day. So I might have to stop fucking playing Counter-Strike Go now, because there's issues like, the draw distance issue, which Scott and I were talking about, and I learned some more. There's 2 factors going on, and I found a widget I can twiddle.
Oh.
So I'm gonna play around with some widgets.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit to me, though.
I'm gonna play around with some widgets. Well, there's 2 pieces of bullshit. One, I couldn't see into those fucking windows.
Right.
And now that I have a video card that's good, I can. But 2, if there's a barrel on a map and you get far enough away from it and your draw distance recedes, the barrel disappears, but player objects don't. So you can see through the barrel.
Whoa. Only if you're zoomed way in, though.
Yes, but the thing is, this also wouldn't have been noticeable except they brought back a lot of those gigantic goddamn maps.
Or
like
at
CS
least there are certain spots on the map where you can see really far.
I think it's really
if,
those rush maps, the small maps that they do for they all the different modes. You don't play that much. They have a rapid fire mode of gameplay where imagine a normal Counter-Strike match twice as fast on a smaller map.
Mm-hmm.
Like you start closer, you fight right away. There's a very simple objective, and those maps.
Should I just hold down the shoot button at spawn?
Those maps, not quite in FY Icy World.
Okay.
Those maps are actually, for whatever reason,
I just wanna play
huge.
Icy World.
Icy World? I could play some Icy
I want to
World.
play Icy World now.
Oh my god, I just want to play some Counter-Strike. But this scandal proves that Valve has no idea what they're doing, and they're ruining the competitive community for Counter-Strike.
Okay.
You got a thing of the day?
I do. So the most
Top comment on YouTube. I quit CSGO because of this.
Sure. The most remixed, listened, and loved video game music of all time is, of course, Mega Man 2. Everyone knows that. There's been a zillion Mega Man 2 remixes. To use one as the thing a day would be a sin to, put it above all the other ones that are also great.
I've got like 60 on my hard drive.
I know, right? Here's one, though, that is unique. I wouldn't say it's the better of all Mega Man remixes, but the Mega Man 2 lullaby album. Lullaby renditions of all Mega Man 2 musics.
That's kind of cool.
Track 1, opening theme. 2, Airman, Bubbleman, Quickman, Flashman, Crashman, Woodman, Heatman, Wily Stage, end theme.
In the meta moment, we are going to be at MagFest. Be there. You know what else is going to be there? Machine Supremacy. We did a panel at PAX Aus and another one at PAX Prime. That shit's on YouTube. Our book club book is still Stasiland. Scott has not read it.
I have not read even one word.
You should read it. It's
Soon.
kind of relevant to the NSA stuff going on. I've already picked my next 2 book club books.
Soon.
So,
I get to pick next, so you have to wait.
yeah.
I'll
read my book so quick just so I can get back to the next book I'm picking.
All right.
You're not going to like one of the next books I'm picking.
the Count of Monte Cristo long edition.
Nah, because I don't need to read that again
War
yet.
and Peace long edition.
I'm not going to read that shit. It's no great expectations. And
Complete works of some poet long edition.
I do have the complete works of Poe, but don't really need to read all those. A lot of them are just...
Like, you know, if you go to, like, the library, they always have those, like, the old books are always, like, complete works of, like, I don't know.
Shakespeare.
Someone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah. Saltybet.
Saltybet. So, Saltybet, we're a little bit late to the party on Saltybet. It's been around for a little bit.
Yet we seem to be ahead of the party because no one I talked to has ever heard of this thing.
Right, well, it's weird. Like, I didn't know about it at all. Suddenly, I see, like, a news story about it. I'm like, what is this? So I discover it because I read a lot of internets. But it
oh,
apparently...
shit. Queen Beryl versus the most ghetto Gohan I've ever seen.
Never bet DBZ.
No, look at this Gohan. Oh, my God.
Do not bet that.
Gohan Zeta. Yeah, Queen Beryl's winning the fuck out of this.
Yeah, it's Sailor Moon, your favorite, right?
Yeah, always bet SM.
Actually, Sailor Uranus is freaking the craziest powerful. I'm glad I learned about Sailor Moon from you, so I know to bet on Outer Senshi and not Inner Senshi.
Yeah, well, Sailor Uranus is pretty... Well, she's not the... Sailor Saturn is technically more powerful.
I haven't seen Sailor Saturn fight yet, but
you know what Sailor Saturn's power
also
is?
Almost won a tournament.
You know what Sailor Saturn's power is in the show? End all life in the universe.
Nice.
Bam. That's her power.
Queen Beryl, why aren't you doing anything against that DBZ?
Oh, potato.
Okay, so the deal with Saltybet. There's a fighting game engine out there called Mugen. And what Mugen is, it's sort of an open source, free fighting game engine thing where just anyone can make characters for it. So it's like the open fighting game. You want to make a fighting game character? Make it, and they'll fight. And pretty much characters can do anything. You can make any kind of character. Any mechanic that's ever been in a fighting game is in there. Is possible to do.
There's a lot, like
power-up meters.
How many buttons does your character have? Do they
Super
have
attacks,
beams?
fatalities, everything. So, what this guy did, Salty, is he took Mugen, he set it up, and he installed and downloaded from the internet every character he could find. Literally thousands of characters from every licensed property you can imagine, right? Some of them you don't even know what the fuck they're from, but a lot of them are from animes. Like here we got a Sailor Moon fighting a DBZ. There's a lot of anime characters, fighting game characters, video game characters, cartoon characters. I saw some Finn and Jake. I saw some Bender. I saw all kinds of stuff, right? And he set it up to stream, right? These characters, this game playing. And what does it stream? It streams the AI fighting itself, random versus random. It picks 2 characters and they fight on shitty AI versus shitty AI, and he streams it on Twitch.
So case in point, right now, it's Gohan Zeta versus Queen Beryl from Sailor Moon.
Gohan Zeta won. Fuck that shit.
Well, Beryl was pretty potato.
Even though her animation was so good, whoever drew that one.
All the comments are WTF, WTF, WTF.
Yeah. So you watch this, and if you sign in, they give you like 300-something salty bucks that you can bet. So you bet on which side you think is going to win at the beginning of the match, then they fight. If you win, you get money, and the way they do the money is they take all of the losing players' bets. So anyone who bet is that Rorschach versus
Mega Vegeta. The Vegeta's doing that Mexibeam Twitch.
Yeah. I wonder what Rorschach's going to do from Watchmen.
I'm going to bet on...
Look at this. Watchmen versus DBZ. Have you ever heard of something so crazy?
I'm betting on Mega Vegeta.
Whoever put that combination together in their wildest dreams?
Always bet flickering DBZ.
I know, right? Yeah, Rorschach probably sucks. So let's say that all the people let's say Rorschach wins this fight, and all the people combined who bet on Mega Vegeta bet $1 million combined. And let's say I bet 1,000 on Rorschach, and the total bet on Rorschach was 500,000.
Rorschach's turtle. I got beat like a girl.
Right. So 500,000 divided by my 1,000 is 1/500th. So if Rorschach...
You win proportionally. It's like an old school bookie
yes,
in a
you would
movie.
divide the DBZ losing money into 500 pieces, and I would get one of those pieces. Right? Everyone gets a sized piece in proportion to how much they bet on the winner. So the more you bet, the more you win. If you lose, you just lose what you bet. And if you lose all your money, you go into the mines, and you basically get like $10. I've never been in the mines. Doesn't
I have
matter.
also never been in the mines. Oh.
Rorschach won.
Yeah, he did.
And he took
and the owl came and picked him up.
I know, that was pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Come on, Mexa beam.
Never bet DBZ.
I need that beam.
The thing about Saltybet that makes it great is not really just the betting part, it's the community part, right? On the right side of this thing, there is a chat room, a Twitch chat room where everyone's chatting.
And it's just flying by.
It's a ton of crazy chat, even when right now there's 557 Salty betters, but usually there's more or less. During the tournaments, sometimes they'll have tournaments, Shaker Classic, and then there's tons of people then. But during the non-tournament time, it goes up and down with time of day. Chats are crazy. And there's a bunch of basically in-jokes and culture of this particular chat room that is so internet. I like it a lot.
Here's the deal. Think about what we've just told you. What this is, in a nutshell, is a place for a community of people to gather and watch AIs fight each other with random properties, and it's just off the wall. Simultaneously, the community support is limited to the only interaction you get other than betting is this little scrolling chat to the right of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, because of all the things it combined, became a cool kids on the internet thing right away.
Yep.
And as a result, it proves everything we've said about the internet and culture for the last, 7 or 8 years of Geeknights. It formed its own culture in a matter of weeks, distinct from all other internet cultures, with its own references, its own self-references, its own community, its own celebrities, its own lexicon. It took weeks for that shit to come together.
Yep.
And it's continuing to evolve rapidly.
So let's talk about some of the cool things that happen in Saltybet. So number one, they're always playing music, right? You can hear the sound effects in the game, but there's basically a soundtrack.
It's sort of like background nerdy music.
Yeah, the guy has really good taste in music. You hear a lot of Samurai Champloo soundtrack going on in there.
A lot of Sandstorm, I heard.
Yeah, one of the jokes is anytime someone asks, what song is this? Everyone just says, Darude Sandstorm. Darude Sandstorm.
From what I can gather, at one point, now already the lore of this thing is lost. I can't seem to find a reference to
how
where
that
it started, but I think Sandstorm played once.
Yeah, whenever a Shaker Classic starts, he actually does play Darude Sandstorm. And in fighting games, there's always the map, like the screen, like the arena of where they're playing. So it's random during the regular times. During the Shaker Classic, they actually have a Shaker Classic.
Shitty heiress or waifu with a...
Probably waifu.
I'm going to dream on heiress.
Iki-san, I'll take Iki-san.
I'm dreaming on heiress.
Yeah, the dream. If you bet on the character who no one's betting on, that's called the dream. And it's like dreams, because if you win, you're going to get mad rich because you bet on the high odds, like betting on the shitty horse in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, wow. So someone's explaining to someone else in the chat right now what people keep saying Mexi. They're like, what's that? And they're actually explaining it legit. So here's the deal. With Mugen, as we said, anyone can make any character.
So apparently people, particularly in Brazil...
and Mexico.
Mostly Brazil, made a bunch of characters, and those characters speak in Portuguese. So you'll have like a Gohan show up, and he'll speak Portuguese, like, for his taunts and whatever. So people are like, it's not Mexican, but they call it Mexican, even though it's not. And then these characters tend to have like these beams they shoot a lot.
Well, these characters are usually made, but look, in Central and South America, things like Dragon Ball and robot shows are ridiculously popular.
Yep.
So the kids down there are also really into video games and fighting games. So there's a lot of communities that will make characters for Mugen, and they make their favorite characters, and they make them ridiculously overpowered because that's what you do when you're 14.
Yep.
So you'll have this like glitched out fucking Gohan that like doesn't even animate right, and he'll sit there kind of spazzing out for a while, and then out of nowhere this one-shot beam just shoots out of his mouth and kills the other guy.
You'll also have guys like HP where like they take tons and tons of damage constantly, but they hardly lose any health because they have mexy HP. Yeah.
The fact that this culture has grown so quickly and has it's such a unique part of the internet, I enjoy it thoroughly, and I can't really tell
It's
you
like
why.
if I really just don't feel like doing anything, like I just put on some Saltybet. Especially if I see a tweet that says there's a Shaker Classic going on, I am so in on that because the fights in the Shaker Classic are so real. They go down to the wire usually. It's crazy good.
Oh yeah, and Eris winning handily. The waifu is pretty it's not doing so hot.
That's sad.
Yeah, it wasn't a dream though. I think people
I
know
always,
that
I
Ikasan
always
is bad.
bet waifu.
I learned waifus burned me too many times.
I don't know. Always bet Toho though.
So I don't know what else we can say. I mean, I'm watching Saltybet and I keep getting distracted because I got Salty Bucks riding on this
Right,
shit.
but who would think about, right? It's like, it's already, when you're sitting there watching your friends play a video game, most of the time it's like boring. I want to play. I don't
Well,
want
it
to
depends.
watch.
Sometimes it's not. Like when we hang out, like two people are playing, I don't know, Street Fighter 4, and the rest of us are on the couch. We'll kind of watch it while we're hanging out.
Yeah, but this is like, I'll intently watch Saltybet, and it's AIs fighting each other. It's crazy.
It would not be as interesting if it was always real people, if it was always real characters.
I think originally they built this system so you could bet the fake money on some like real fighting tournaments, like pros fighting.
But I like it
But
way
then
more.
They took that system and put the Saltybet into it when there weren't any real tournaments happening.
Because the moments will be like, one time this tiny little Kenshiro came up against a gigantic Colossus.
What?
And I bet on Kenshiro.
X-Men Colossus versus Hokuto no Ken. Think
But
about
Kenshiro
that. That's
on the
amazing.
screen was like 15 pixels tall.
Always bet hitbox.
So I bet him, and then the match starts, and just wata, and he hits Colossus, one-shots him.
Whatcha?
It was a beauty to behold.
Omae wa mo shinderu.
But this other time, there was this glitched out fucking surf bot versus someone else, and they were fighting, and then the surf bot just like starts like spazzing out and floating up higher and higher and higher, and just flew off the screen and never came back.
Okay.
And then the chat, people were like, his people needed him.
I think you ever see a movie and there's some kind of fight and people are betting on it, right? Like think about, for example, in Street Fighter 2, the background or on Vegas.
There's always the guy standing there,
Claw.
like shouting odds and taking money
Right,
from people
there's
and handing them tickets.
There's people with a fistful of money, and they're just pumping their fist that's full of money, right? Or the people being surrounding a cage where people are fighting, banging on the cage with money in their fists and money falling down, right?
Who run Bartertown?
Right, and it's like, you think about that stereotypical scene of people betting on something, some sort of gambling fight. When you're watching Saltybet and you're betting and reading the chat and you're into it, it's like you feel like you're in one of those situations where you're the guy standing next to the cage with a fistful of money, shaking it, watching the fight, going, yeah, go whoever you are, yeah, kick his ass, yeah, do it, yeah. And it's like it just puts you in that mood.
It is
Which
what
is a
horse
mood I
racing,
sometimes want to be in.
It feels like what horse racing looks like in the movies.
Without the horrible illegal parts or the real money
Or
the
just the
criminals
sad parts.
or the sad homeless guy betting his last dollar or the poorly treated
No, but
sometimes poorly
this has
treated
that
animals.
moment where you buy the ticket for the long shot and it almost wins and then it loses and you tear the ticket up and throw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Except I tear up my virtual ticket and throw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I only got like 700 salty bucks right now.
Yeah, I actually pay. So you can pay real money for Saltybet, which I did not because I cared
Now
about
you realize
how much
half our listeners are laughing hysterically now at that admission, Scott.
What?
That you paid money for salty bucks.
Okay, so I didn't pay money.
I also paid money.
Right, because I don't really care about winning Saltybet. It's like I'll just go all in every time. I don't fuck
Poison
shit.
is definitely going to beat that glitched fucking SpongeBob.
I don't know about that. Anyway,
I'm betting on Poison.
SpongeBob is hitbox.
He is definitely going to win.
Anyway,
Actually, look at that sad Bender in the background.
yeah, I know, right? I paid money to Saltybet as basically I just wanted to reward the people for coming up with this. Like, holy crap, this is amazing. Take my money. And so I gave him $30. It's like whatevs. It's no deal for me. I have monies. But Saltybet, it's like I do not want this to disappear. It's incredible. And the fact that the benefits I
Fake
get,
as hell, SpongeBob.
I don't even use the benefits I get from it. So the benefits you get with giving them money is that number one, you can't go below 600 salty bucks. So basically, I could, if I wanted to, I can go all in every time and just feed the economy, right? And eventually, a dream will come true and I'll be mega rich. But big deal. I can't use this money for anything else. So what does it matter how much I have? All that matters is that the more I bet on an individual fight, the more I end up like sort of caring about the result. So it's like going all in every time actually gives you the greatest enjoyment.
Oh, this fight is real.
I know, right? You get the greatest enjoyment of salty.
Fuck. No, yes. Look, it came down to one goddamn bar. Poison one barely.
Real, so real.
Oh my god.
You get the most enjoyment by betting more. And it's like, if you lose, so what? Even if you didn't pay money, you're in the salt mines, you have $10. Fine, bet all your $10 for the dream, right? And hope you win and you'll get out of the mines. And you see plenty of people in the chat are like, yes, out of the mines. So it happens. It happens pretty often. The other benefit you get is that if you're in like the Illuminati, you can actually look up the stats and see basically in real time, how many wins and losses each character has. So you can sort of know who to bet on, like buying a magazine that tells you which horse is better in the horse races.
Yep. But
I never even use it because if I look at that, basically all I'm basically seeing is either A, this side is one-sided, and now there's no reason to even watch that fight. Because now I'm just going to bet, and if I bet on the loser, it's like, oh well, there's basically no chance.
you got to watch out, too, because Gohan wins a lot, but there's like 100 Gohans.
Well, you can figure out which one it is by looking carefully.
Usually.
Yeah, other people will be like, fake Gohan, they'll let you know.
Thing is, people lie just as all. Yeah, Poison Crush.
You cannot
SpongeBob.
trust, because of the way the betting works, you cannot trust the chat. The people who know which character is going to win want everyone else to bet on the character that is going to lose. That way, they get more money. Most times, everyone bets on the one who's going to win. No one bets on the one that's going to lose. 99% of the time, the dream does not happen. The winner who is expected to win wins. The stronger horse wins the race. Everyone who bet on the strong horse gets holla holla yadala. $1. Just $1. And the losers lose everything.
Oh, it's the Magic Girl.
Okay.
But Gohan Grande Normale?
Grande Normale? Yeah, Be Magic Girl that's Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
bet
think
on
I
Gohan
bet on her
Grande.
once, and I was sad for doing so, if I remember
I
correctly.
got $2,000. I'm putting it all on Gohan Grande Normale.
I think that might be a good idea, because I remember Be Magic Girl did not come through for me once when I bet on her.
El Grande Gohan, all in on Penguin? Why? Oh, there's penguins in the background.
Yeah.
But they're like real penguins. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saltybet is super fun. You guys should play it. And we might do some Geek Night stuff related to streaming ourselves playing Saltybet.
We're definitely having Saltybet fun times. I haven't gotten tired of it yet. I don't know when I will.
Okay, everyone bet on Gohan Grande Normale.
Yeah. There you go.
My $2,000 bet's going to get me $35.
Hey, not bad. See, that's another reason to go all in is that when you do win, you're not going to get holla holla $1. You're going to get like $35, something like that, because you bet enough that you're getting more than $1's worth. It's just funny how the Saltybet economy keeps growing because just the way it's built is so many people just get like automatic dollars. And so
the top bet for this match, someone bet 125.
The green number is how much they bet.
1, 2, 3. All right, they bet 1 million salty bucks.
Because they know that freaking he's going to win. Click on toggle. See what people bet on player 2. Yep, there it is.
15,000.
They're going to be really...
Someone bet 15,000 on that dream.
Listen, if they win, that is the biggest dream. What are the odds right now?
The odds were 58-1.
If he won that, are you kidding me? He would have been the richest in Saltybet immediately.
Every time I bet on a DBZ character, I lose all my money.
I don't know. It's Saltybet. The Salty's Dreamcast Casino has nothing to do with Dreamcast. Do not bet on the thing with the blue stick.
Why?
It never wins.
But look at that thing.
No, I've bet on that before. It's a mistake.
But look, Emma Frost
Mistakes were made.
Emma Frost's boobs are moving, but most of the rest of her body is not.
Mistakes were made. Bet Emma Frost, I'm telling you.
I'm betting $10 on that stick.
It's dreams.
It's a $10 dream.
Dreams.
$10 dream. Kanmi-chan? What is that
Dreams.
blue star? I don't even know what Kanmi-chan is from. I'm gonna look this up.
It's an ice hockey stick.
Kanmi-chan. Mugen database. All right, that's the top link.
There are some characters just in there.
Is a fighter with a big wrench. She's the mascot of an online board game and possibly a character of the Mugen game Nijikaku.
Okay.
She was created by a woman.
Okay.
And you can't download her.
Okay.
Oh. People bet evenly, and she's kicking Emma Frost's ass.
I guess Emma Frost is sucking because I don't know how. I've never seen Emma Frost fight in this before.
This is a fake Emma Frost. Look at her busted, glitchy hair.
Oh, okay. Because Kanmi-chan is pretty potato. She's not super potato, but she's potato.
Okay. We're gonna stop now so we can just play some more Saltybet. This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.